Okay. Alors, technically, I've got, I would say, a normal kind of way to appear in this job, even if it was not as simple as that, because technically my parents used to own a restaurant. Every summer I was sent to my grandmother's place in Normandy, and because my parents were so busy, and I've been growing up with my summertime on the middle of the farm. And when I was young, I used to love to walk with my uncle, and but as a job to become a farmer is very complicated. And I think when the first time I said to my father I want to become a farmer, he really lost his plots, because he wanted me to achieve a better life and more, and probably less complicated. And from there, I changed my mind. I started to be I was very keen to play football, and obviously I love this kind of challenge, competition, and my dream come to want maybe to start to have got a football academy. And I did a try, and it didn't work at all, because I was hoping a lot, but I realized you need to be something very special to make a career in football today. And it never happened. And when I explained to my father I want to become, I used to play quite a bit in the kitchen with the rest of the staff. I used to love to set up the plate, but I didn't like it so much to be in kitchen, because it's no contact with the guest, it's no, you are all the time in your close environment. And I decided to move to the restaurant side. And the first time I said to my father, I want to do that as a job, he was like, with your mom, we work very hard, we want a better future, you don't realize you're not going to have got your weekends off, you're going to work the evening. But my mind was deeper. But and I decided to go to this site, even when my start was complicated, because obviously when you have got an experience to be from a restaurant, people look at you already like you need to become almost a boss or a owner of a restaurant. And I started to work at the front, and the same, I did my 2 years of apprenticeship as a waiter. I like it. I was lucky because I was working in a place where I've learned a lot about carving, flambage. It was, I used to like the show things. And I thought it was fantastic. And my father knew quite a lot of people, sent me in a 3-star Michelin place. And there it was the head sommelier, Serge Buds, becomes the best sommelier of the world in 1989. And I all the time thought the wine was not something you can approach easily. Because for a lot of people, it has got almost a scientific way, or people say, oh, I love wine, but I don't understand wine. And I remember it was a table of 16 where some people asked to Serge, the head sommelier, to describe the wine. And I was next to him, and I was just listening, I was pouring the water, and suddenly I realized actually the kind of few words or to explain a wine precisely, it's actually something I can do. I thought it was far more complicated. And there I decided to move to Paris for 5 years. And I work only for famous top restaurant and a big chef. But it was not so easy, because I used to learn wine a little bit at school, but it was not like what this new generation of most of the people came with, sometimes from the kitchen, sometimes from the restaurant, with years of sommelier, or sometimes even 2. I've learned from myself. That's mean I didn't know how to use a book on wines. I need to learn a little bit of viticulture, winemaking. And when you do an average, I would say between 9 to 14 hours a day, you need to find the time. And I find very, very difficult to improve. But when I was in Paris, obviously I was selling just French wine. And the French wine is very complicated because it's probably what every country want to know about the French wine to see what they're going to do. And but when I was there, I used to be lucky because the wine was very open. It was like about 900 wines, but they were presented from everywhere. And after 5 years, I decided to say, listen, I need to know more. And I decided to move to England. But normally I was supposed to move to England for 1 or 2 years to learn English. And I want to travel maybe to the States, something like that. But it never happened. It was quite a little bit, I would say, changing my direction. I came in England and my start was slightly complicated because I was feeling like find quite difficult to learn the language, and also I was so lost with these wines were completely open with German wine, Austrian wines, South African wines. I didn't know what was a pinotage. I didn't know where it was Stellenbosch, or I didn't know where why the Sauvignon Blanc of New Zealand was famous, or the Zinfandel from California. And technically, I was quite lucky to know a little bit of French wine. Now, obviously, when you have got the name of the grape presented on the wine list, you feel almost like I know at least something, but the region and all this thing. And I feel really, really, I never feel so much lost my base, because in England everybody was talking Rioja in Spain, Torrontés from Argentina, or Carmener from Chile, and it was just impossible for my brain to play with it. And I was like, okay, before I go to my trip, I need to know about that because it's probably going to help me a lot for the future. And I started to walk to an hotel used to call Hotel du Vin. And the sommelier was there, was Gérard Basset. He was not yet the best sommelier of the world, but he was preparing his Master of Wine. And I never heard the Master of Wine before when I was in France, even if at this time the only Master of Wine was based in Alsace. But when I came in England, he was preparing his Master of Wine. He was already Master Sommelier. He was already the best sommelier of Europe. He won many other titles, and I was fascinated to know about this exam, where more what I call an academic exam than a sommelier. Sommelier are someone dealing with the restaurant, but dealing with his cellar, know about what he need to buy, to run the place, and to taking care about the rest of the restaurant first and the guest, but also about to offering food and wine association. And the Master of Wine is really like for someone who wants to study really deeply. It's a little bit like what you call a doctorate. It's a high academic exam. But I started to want to study, and there Gérard came to me, and he was like, oh, I've got a place, because at this time the Hotel du Vin used to be two restaurants. He said, oh, I've got a place where I am, would like me to come to join my team. We are not so happy with a red sommelier. It would be maybe an opportunity. We have got someone already in place, but I don't think he's going to stay. Are you quite keen to come? And I decided to move to his place where it was his field. And I remember, that's why it's quite funny about South Africa, because at this time, I was learning the South African wine, but I didn't know how to take notes. And that means I had, I don't know how many books and encyclopedia, and I was taking my notes from South Africa, but I came almost with a little book of notes, and it was far too much. And at this time also the South African wine were probably more approachable because it was 22 years ago. And one day he said, "Oh, Eric, show me what do you do to prepare yourself for an exam or a competition." And I came, and he was, I remember he was taking a paper, and my paper, and he was like, "Oh, that's really good, that's really good, but it's too much. You don't know how to take notes, and I'm going to show you." And he told me, "I'm going to show you what I'm doing when I prepare in competition." And I was like, and the day after he came, and I think it was 2 pages of A4 paper, and it really hurt me because I was almost like, I did all this work for nothing. And suddenly he said, "Eric, what you did, it's good, but you need to learn to go faster." And from there, I started to study his way because technically I realized it was too much. It was too much to do, and I was lucky because I had someone can drive me there. Where I think in a sommelier position today, it is probably the most important thing. It's not to take a position quickly as a head sommelier. To become a good head sommelier, you need to be available to ask questions and someone can answer you. That means if you can take maybe some time, if you don't go so quickly, you will be probably have the chance to work with someone can drive you and help you about many of the questions. And when you feel ready, you will be in the right time. And there, a few months after, he came to me, and he was coming from the car park where he was parking his car. We parked his car, and he said, "Oh, it's a little competition of sommelier, and you're going to be 12. I put your names there." And I was like, "Oh, but Gérard, you should ask me before my permission. You can't do that. I'm not ready." He was like, "Just go and let's see what you are available to do." And I was like, I was quite, it took really my insight, and I was like, that's not cool. He should ask me before. I need to, if I go, I want absolutely to win. And certainly, you know, I have this kind of envy of competition. I was like, yeah, but that is not actually yet my time and thing. But anyway, I decided to go to this competition, and Gérard was one of the judges, but obviously he can't judge me if I was a candidate. And we were 12, and it was a little writing exam, and I would say I've managed to save my day. It was also a little testing, where we just need to identify the wine, if I remember. And the last thing was about a table of 2, and they were ordering a calf's liver with crispy bacon and a shallot chutney. And it was 2 red wine were on the side. You need to test the 2 and to explain which one do you think is going the best. And because I really didn't know its work, I tested the 2 wine. I was like, this one is, and I went to the table and I was like, I'm sorry, actually the 2 wines are actually very, very good. And but one is more a lighter character and things like that. It's more fruitier. The acidity is a little bit more tight, and the second is a Shiraz from Australia. It's big. It's also quite masculine style, more tannic, and also it's a wine where I will take the decision to decant it if you go for this one, because you need to braise it. And I think at the end, I didn't know what was my performance, but I was myself. And I will remember forever, at this time, we were going to the toilets to get change, and it was another guy who was quite known. And I asked him how he did it, and he was, "Oh yeah, I think I did quite well," and things like that. But when we came back, they called the 3 finalists, and I was not one of them. And they did an extra task to make the difference between first and the second. And the guy I was talking, the toilets won, but he was already someone with the experience of the competition. And because I was not one of the three, I was quite upset with myself. And Gérard told me, oh, wait for me in the car park because I don't want nobody see me because it need to be clear. And wait next to my car. And I was in the car park. I was waiting for him to come back. And suddenly I saw him to come with, I don't know if you know Gérard, but he had a big mustache, less hair on the top, but he was quite a very Frenchy appearance, if I can say. And he was there and he was like, oh, Eric, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I didn't finish one of the three. And he said, oh, get in the car. We're going to eat somewhere. And he was so happy in the car. And I was in the car really like almost to really want to blow him because I was like, he's asked me to do this competition. And he said, what did you think about your experience? I was like, that obviously I didn't do well. I am not one of the three. And he said, do you realize, Eric, you just started to study and you finished fifth. You need to keep that for yourself. You finished fifth, and it was 2 students are preparing the Master of Wine, and you beat the 2. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He said, but can you imagine if now you decided to study and to work a little bit hard, maybe you can win some other competition. And I was like, allez, let's go to Auberge. We had a dinner together. I remember we went to eat a pizza. We had 2 bottles of rosé. And he was happy. He was more happy than me, to be frank. I was all the time like still not one of the top 3. But after I started to realize, I was like, obviously he knows what he's doing, and if I push myself, let's go for maybe 1 year. And current the same years, I started to prepare the Master Sommelier. I started to prepare also the best sommelier of England. And my first official competition was the best sommelier of England. And I managed to finish 3rd. And suddenly you are like, I need to win. And it technically pushed me, and suddenly I was inside doing the Master Sommelier. And I started to do my introduction and my certificate the same years. The years after, I did my advance, and I finished the second year also second best sommelier of England. 3rd years, I finished second best sommelier. I passed my Master Sommelier, and I managed to win the best sommelier of England. And after, here I come. I started to the Master Sommelier. It was already on the site. I won the best sommelier of England, and suddenly I was like, I want more, and I completely forget to move to my travel. My ideas was maybe to go to the States or somewhere like that, but I've completely forget because it was like an adrenaline, you know. It's like, and I just find the experience unbelievable, and because I did this kind of experience, it made me to be more known, but I didn't do that to be known. It's just because I want to achieve my own goal. But today, before the situation with the lockdown, I was traveling 1 or 2 times a month all the time in a different country to take sight of judging wines or visiting wine estates, and or sometimes even to go to judge some other sommelier competition. And that's why I know quite few people are in South Africa. I am sure you know Germain, Le Dové, Tinasha, Samantha, all these people, Jean-Vincent Vibon. It's actually the most beautiful part of this job are the opportunity the wine give you to meet people. And I all the time say it's also about our drive, because we are all passionate and we are all lovers, but the terroir is there, we are just here to make him as an history, and we need to keep that going for the next generation. And I just find this job very unique and fantastic for most of us, because after I am a human person, I've got also sometimes where I thought I'm going to quit, because it's a job where you need all the time to keep in mind you can't just be satisfied about what you're doing every day. You need to, your progression it's for forever. And if you love what you're doing, you need to push yourself and take the opportunity to growing up. And I find this job unique for that.
Fantastic. Really, I mean, it is absolutely wonderful to hear you speak about that, and certain inspiration for everybody out there. I think South Africa, really, it's a youthful situation with sommeliers. There are only a handful, and I think the restaurants and the hotels are starting to come around and realize how important it is to have a head sommelier and somebody who can engage and really be the face of the chef and the restaurant itself. And I hear what you say about you must educate your palate as much as possible and travel and understand the other wines. So I think the only way forward is continue studying as much as possible.
Sure. And to be honest, I think the image of the sommelier today are also slightly different, because I think for most of the people, for a normal restaurant or a normal hotel, the sommelier will be the person who's going to be in charge of the wines. But that's why I'm pretty sure if you ask Samantha to work for the group Red Carnation, I don't say that because I work for them, but it is the case. Tomorrow you can be more than a sommelier. You can be a part of the strategy of the hotel development, and you are also the person where quite often some of the guests feel to know the sommelier, you are a little bit special. You are one of these front person, given opportunity to be more on the contact of what's happened from the field as a vineyard to the plate. And some sommelier will be just, I would say, sommelier as a worker, because someone need to be. Some of the sommelier, it's about the input of them personality.
And then just explain as well, holding your cellar. I know you pride yourself in having the best wine list, and often it's your cellar that you've grown over the years. Just run us through a few of your wonderful collections that you have currently.
No, our cellar, or it's done. It's about 1,600 wines. For example, some of the cellars are far bigger, but a cellar, it's also about your personality. And the way I buy the wines for us are to make sure we represent all the country wine producer, but also with a specific grape, make them famous, and also the appellation. Every wines are coming to the wine list. They are not there because we need to have that something are looking good on the wine list. Every wines are technically tested before, and we will decide if they move to the wine list just because the quality is there. And that's why the fact to be in England, where it's a place doesn't have so much vineyards yet, because the sparkling wine in England started to be quite known and internationally known, but it's just about 2,000 hectares of vineyards here. That's Minister time. And because England has been also close with the Commonwealth, you will find easily everywhere you go wine from New Zealand, Oregon, Washington, California, Chile, Argentina, from everywhere. You can find Chinese wine, you can find Japanese wine, you can find Slovenian, Croatian wine from everywhere. But at the end, you need to make sure the wine you presented are quality, because as it's not about to surprise someone to say, oh, I'm going to present a wine from this grape, but if the quality doesn't reflect the price and the quality and the level, obviously you put you in the situation are difficult. And our wine lists are also completely open, but I am from Alsace originally, and we have got probably one of the best Alsace wine lists here in England. I'm in a way, I would say I know quite strongly the eastern country of Europe, but also the Balkan wines. And I find beautiful the fact we also organize some food and wine matching with tasting menu. And the ideas of the food and wine matching, for example, we present an option with 4 wines and an option with 6 wines, and it's never should be more than 1 wine from each country. And we need also to find an alternative between New World and Old World. It's never going to be just Old World wine. It will be all the time 1 or 2 New World wine on the selection. And after at Summer Lodge, where I am based, we also developed the wine dinners, where it's all the time with a specific topic. It can be a region, it can be a country, it can be a wine state. Normally, we have got someone over from the agency coming to us. I organize everything. We do a menu with the chef. That means your relation with the chef need to be not just working together, but acting together. Because if you have got a good chef, he will be the one introduce you the food to you, and you will be available to test. But you will be also available to show him what are your ideas about what you want to pair, because you need to work as a fusion, okay? And it's also very important. That means you need also to have got a minimum of skills on food. I didn't say you need to be a chef, but you need to know what are the dishes. And during these wine dinners, all the time when we have got, for example, a specific topic, we try also to find the origin of the food of the same place. That means if tomorrow we do a wine dinner with South African wine, it can be one estate from South Africa, but we will find the maximum way to find some products from South Africa to be present, almost like if you will be at the place in South Africa, but it's happening in England. And it's a very good way to communicate and to approach the people, and also to make them to come back, because you need to find something where if you do it, it can't be just a party. You need to make them a sense for them to say, oh, it was great, I want to learn more, I would like to come back to the one it's in 2 months' time after, you know.
Fantastic.
And that's
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the food and wine dinners are certainly a draw card, and I do wish that we could have more of them in South Africa. They were popular at one stage, but now we need to push them again, because it's also nice to meet the winemaker, and as we are a wine producing country, it's ideal if the winemaker can actually join them at those dinners. So, but I love your idea of pairing the style of country to the food. But Eric, I'm afraid we're running out of time. I can honestly ask if there are any questions via email, and we will rather do it that way around. So what I want to say is thank you so much for your fantastic chat with us, and a little insight into your passion, effectively, and congratulations once again for achieving such an incredible high status, and lovely that you're at Summer Lodge now. So we hopefully we'll get to see you one day. I know one of the winners will, hopefully. Okay, Eric, thank you very much.
Thank you, and have a nice day. And I hope the weather is better at your place than here today. But see you soon.
We're freezing here, truly.
Okay.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks a million.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.